we are pleased to welcome our guest, Mark Botter, who is the Executive Director of Builders of the Future, a program to locate, encourage, and educate the next generation of construction trade specialists. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Ted Grace was kind enough to introduce us to you and your organization. I know it means a lot to him as well. Give us a quick overview of the Builders of the Future program.
Okay. Basically, Ted Grace was the co-founder of Builders of the Future, along with Steve Skidmore and a few more members of MOBA. It started in 1993, and if you remember, if you went to the Street of Dreams, it was a Playhouse project. So they had themes each year. The first couple of years, it ran as the home builders had their carpenters and finished carpenters build a tiny playhouse.
I remember those.
Yeah, and they did that for 2 years, and they found out there was a little issue trying to get, when people bought them or did the raffle, how to get those into the backyards of people that bought them. So then they changed the name to Builders of the Future in 1995, a couple years later, and they moved that task to the high schools. So schools were given money and lumber and materials to build different themes of houses, and they were moved out of the industrial labs and then taken to Street of Dreams and then sold. And that's kind of how it evolved. In 2001, they incorporated and became got a nonprofit, the Builder Foundation, and that was to help them do scholarships for the trades. So they were able to fund that a little bit easier if they did that from MOBA.
So you gave us an interesting statistic. For every tradesperson that retires, how many are entering into the building trades?
For every 5 trade people retiring, there's only 2 joining and going into the trades. And that's why we have such a deficit in the trades right now.
So that's not very sustainable numbers right there.
Yeah.
How do you get teenagers interested in the program and decide where they want to go into a trade?
Probably the biggest thing for us is to have the schools take on these bigger projects. You can talk all you want to kids about different things, but if you sit there and just listen, they don't get it. But if you get them to build things bigger than a bread box, if you get them to build dog houses, sheds, 10 by 10, 10 by 12 sheds, garages, fences, have them go out and do decks or basements, that's when they start to rub elbows with maybe a plumber or electrician, and they got to see, or a carpenter, and say, hey, this is what they do for a living. And that helps them figure out what they want to do.
And you were mentioned to us before the show that you do have bigger projects these days. So tell us about the big one that you're working on now.
Yeah, a couple years ago we wrote a grant, and I'm a glass half full kind of person. I looked at it and I said, we had DC West, John Brockhouse had somebody come to them and ask him if he would build a house. Well, that was right during COVID. Didn't quite go as well as we wanted. But then we said, okay, let's see if we can get other schools to do it. If you remember back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, Benson High School built houses. There was a school in Iowa, Council Bluffs did. Fremont built houses. So we thought, okay, let's try this again. So we wrote a grant. One of the major foundations around Omaha gave us $200,000 to get 5 school districts to try to start building houses. That each school would get $10,000 for tools, $10,000 for scaffolding, and $20,000 to pour a pad to build it on at the school site. And then once it's built at the school, then it's moved to a site and finished by a general contractor. The reason is the travel time, the lost of loading the kids in a bus, loading the tools, getting them to the job site, traveling back and forth, and unloading everything again, and unloading the kids. And all the liability goes with it. Makes it easier to just build it at the school.
Build at the school, and then you can pour a foundation somewhere, and actually it's skinny enough that you can put it 26 feet, you can get it on the streets.
Yeah, and certain cities say, we have never done this before. Yeah, but there is houses moved everywhere in the country and it's in the city. But we made them 26 feet wide by 46 or 45. They can be a little longer. They just can't be any wider than 26.
Okay. Builders of the Future program, how can parents get in touch with you, learn more about it, and how can people contribute?
They can just call me. My number is 402-290-2235. They can email me at nebuildersofthefuture@gmail.com.
Say that again.
It's nebuildersofthefuture@gmail.com. They can also go to our website. It's just thebuilderfoundation.org, and they can just send us emails, phone calls. I'm on the road a lot, driving between schools.
So it's a not-for-profit. How are you funded?
We're funded all by grants and donations. A lot of our big donors are Omaha Boulder Realtors, the lumber yards like Builder Supply, Millard Lumber, Christensen Lumber, A&E, like Brad here works for. A lot of these companies, Turner Construction, they just Watkins Concrete. They donate money every year to help fund all these projects for these schools.
You were telling us that it's not only a problem getting kids into the trades, but now you're having this problem getting the teachers to teach the trades.
Yeah, there's a big shortage of teachers in Nebraska for industrial trades. Right now, I think there's about 10 teachers retiring every year in Nebraska for the trades. They're only producing approximately 4 teachers to fill those spots. So some schools have actually had to find custodians or a math teacher or a science teacher that has a little bit of background to come in and teach those classes. So the skill gap, even on the teacher end, is starting to hit us.
So we're at a unique time, and when it comes to education, and a lot of people are saying, I want to learn a trade. I don't want to send my kids to these colleges across the country. It's very expensive. They're not learning what they used to learn. And give us an idea of the kind of money that being trained in the construction industry, kids that maybe want to go to a trade school or go to college to learn about teaching in the trades. What kind of money are we talking about for some of these trades?
So, well, if you start with a carpenter, they're going to probably make $25 to $30 or $35 an hour. If you get in some of the HVAC people, they're on the higher end. They could make $50 an hour. If they're at the commercial side, it's unbelievable the salaries that some of these people can make now compared to what they were 20 years ago.
And they don't have a bunch of school debt.
Right.
Are there programs that you guys help fund that takes away the cost of the education?
Yeah, we try to get scholarships for kids, anybody that wants to go to Metro. We also have a scholarship for anybody who wants to go to Wayne State. We give $10,000 to Wayne State to divide up into 4 scholarships. And we're just trying to get more kids because, like I said, only 4 are graduating each year with an industrial teaching degree. We're hoping to get that, even to break even, you need about 8 or 10. And we're hoping that can grow into where we can get maybe 10 or 12 so we have a better quality of teachers out in the field.
What a great program. Give us that website again.
It's the website?
Yeah.
I have to look down. thebuilderfoundation.org.
Okay, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mark Bowder, Executive Director of Builders of the Future. A great program, and I encourage you all to look it up and get involved, whether you have a student that is looking to do something like that, whether you want to contribute. Our success in the future of Omaha for the built environment depends on programs like this. So, Mark, thank you for coming on to the Grow Omaha show.
Thank you for having us.
And we appreciate it.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.